Hi guys, welcome to Extra Talk, a new edition, surprise edition with two panel members today, Ajax and Papimento. Hi guys.
Hi Juan.
Hey,
How are you guys?
What do you say?
How are you guys doing?
Great, peachy. And you guys?
Yeah, good. What's up with you, Papimento?
Yeah, everything good, man. Happy to talk about Ajax. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. So, guys, this is the Extra Talk. We said last week a special surprise to all our viewers. This is the Extra Talk that we're going for. Two panel members, a conference. Let's have a discussion about what's going on. And let's start with the new season. So today Ajax played last match against Augsburg. They had all their preseason matches. We have been talking a lot about, the games and how they're performing so far. We're in between the international break. Some of the players are playing with the national squad, but in a week time, we're starting. After 6 months, it's finally there. So my question to you guys, let's start with Ajax, is what do you expect Ajax will do this season?
I think we will do pretty good. I think the preseason has been terrific. We played a lot of matches. We only drew once. The rest of the matches were wins. And we did not play with full squad each time, sometimes with a lot of youth. And I think a lot of players surprised me. Even players that I have written off already, like a Labiat and a Lang, they performed pretty well. I also was very impressed with Kudus. He played terrific. I think he will be an addition to the squad, and I have high hopes for the coming season. But the only thing is that I already mentioned many times before, the back line can be problematic. If Blind doesn't recover soon and maybe Nico leaves, we do not have sufficient backup to fill those positions. You can only do it with youth. And I think they are maybe a little bit too light for Champions League standards. So if Blind doesn't recover fast and if Nico leaves, then Martinez will definitely take one of those spots. So you have a midfielder less. I still think we need another left back and maybe a left central defender. So yeah, I hope I'm wrong, but it's going to be a long season, cramped up with a lot of matches in a short time frame. So let's hope we have sufficient players for those positions to switch them up and give everybody a little bit rest, because not all players can play all those matches without getting fatigued. So I think the competition will be doable. I have high hopes for Ajax. I think we can be champions. Champions League is going to be difficult. I do think it depends on the draw and if we get into pot 2. I do think we maybe can reach the knockout stages, but all depends on how the team will develop in the early stages of the season. If the team spirit comes within the squad, some balance is needed on the midfield. I have high hopes. So let's just see how it goes. I think competition-wise, nothing less than a championship is good enough, I think.
Yes, thank you for that, Ajax. Papimento, what's your take on this one?
Actually, a lot is the same as Ajax. I must say that I do think that some players that are young, like Rensch, Timber brothers, they're really making strides and they're coming really fast. I think Rensch is already a squad rotation player as I see him play. He can be a central defender. He can be left back. He can be right back. So he's a very versatile player and very good for Ajax. So I'm very happy with that. I just don't like that they're waiting in the sense of if Tagliafico leaves, if Onana leaves, then they'll buy something. It might be very short to the transfer deadline window. And I think you're setting up yourself to problems in that case. But because if they leave and you have to get somebody fast, will it happen that fast? And are you sure you'll be able to get somebody that quick? Because your season can be quite soon over if you lose those kind of players all at once. And that's the only thing that Ajax should consider. I think they should already buy a left back just to train, get into the Ajax system, and just be a backup for when Tagliafico or Onana, a goalkeeper, leaves. You already have somebody set. That's my personal opinion. But from the front line, midfield, I think we're set. The number 6, left central back and left back needs can have some more depth, in my opinion.
And if you look at the current squad that we have, let's say that the squad is the same. We don't buy anyone. We still with the same squad, basically. What's your expectation for this season? How far do you think we can go?
I think Ajax has the strongest team in the Eredivisie, so that's number 1 for me in the Eredivisie. I think Cup, we usually let young players play, so we can win that, but it's not a certainty. I just think that Ajax is going to have a lot of problems with the Champions League. Also, the pace of the games right after the 5 subs. Does Ajax have enough depth? That's the question mark that stays with me. Champions League, I think I said group phase, but I'm liking Antony and Kudus more and more. So I'm going to say quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals of the Champions League. I'm sorry? Champions League.
Yes.
All right. Ajax, coming back to you, you've been arguing for quite some time now about, left back, which is a critical position. Well, Pavimento just said something which is important and which reflects also what you have been saying. He said, why are you waiting until the last moment? Maybe it's too late. The thing is also that we know that Ajax doesn't have the luxury to just start buying players, because at the end, if you don't sell Tagliafico or Onana, then you have 2 important players, but only one can be played.
Yeah, I do agree with what Pavimento said. In the past, not the last years, but in the past, we have had some transfers almost at the end of the transfer window. We were not able to get a sufficient replacement in time. So I'm totally for completing your squad early as possible, so they can be fit in with the team and they have some time to cope with the new style of play. I do disagree with a little bit what Pavimento said about the left back position. We do agree both that it has to be there has to come another player, but I do not agree that it should be a player that has to adapt to the squad still. I think if you buy a player for that position at this moment, it should be somebody who could be there and has arrived already in international football that can play that position well. I've heard also people say maybe Wijndal from Asset, but it's the same type of player as like Rensch. Rensch is young, he is young, and I think Rensch can be a substitute for like 2 or 3 years from now that can deliver, and that will be at a certain standard at that phase of his career. So he will be like the next in line. But if you buy somebody now for the left back position, it should not be a talent, because it will get in the way of the progress from Rensch. And it should be somebody that can fill the position immediately. So if Nico leaves, he stands in for him immediately and he can deliver. Not somebody who also has to develop. So that's my take on it. And maybe Pavimento disagrees. I saw him raise his hand. So give us your 2 cents, man.
I just want to respond to that. Look, you can go for experience, but we've all seen that talent and skill also plays a very important role. We have some experienced players at Ajax. Think Tadic, think Huntelaar, think Promes. Enough experience there. I would say just go for somebody that's technical capable and that can play that position for a couple of years at Ajax. I would rather have that than another experienced player.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it doesn't have to be an old player, but it has to be somebody who can deliver immediately. If you have talent, then it's the same with Rensch. Then you have two young players that have to compete for one position. This is also great, but is it good enough for Champions League standards? I would rather see somebody like play there for 2 years that gets bought again because it's a good player. And then Rensch already has developed a bit. He's been with the squad. He got some minutes already, and he will be the natural successor then.
Yeah, but Rensch is versatile. Rensch can play central defender and can play right back and can play left back.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, if I may jump in, the thing is, Pavimento, I do agree with Eyejax on this one, because Look, if you go start buying a talent, then you're impeding the other talents that we have in the squad to develop. So, and also the philosophy of Ajax should be and is that if you buy a player, it has to be a player that adds value or has something that we don't have in the squad already. So if you go buy a talent, we already have one or two on that position. Now, the left back is a very specific position for Ajax because that's basically the only position that is a bit critical. We don't really have, a substitute there. Salahuddin is injured for the rest of the season. He got injured, against Almere City. So we don't have anyone else. And now the only option that we see, and which Ten Hag is contemplating, is if Tagliafico leaves, then we're putting Martinez on the left back. But I have seen Martinez play today as well against Augsburg. He was one of the best players on the pitch, and he was playing in the position of Blind. So, and this is also something that we discussed before. Your good players, your experienced players should always play in the center of the team because that's your spine, basically. And if you're going to move Martinez to the left side, I know they're already thinking about it, and maybe they scouted Martinez also as a left back. But last year he proved himself that he's able to play in the center, whether it's as a central defender or in the center midfield. I think still that's our best option. Coming back to the point, if we buy someone, it has to be a player that's already there. Like when Tagliafico got bought, he played the first game, he made an impression from the get-go. Same a little bit goes for Antony. Antony is a talent, but he has such a surplus on talent that he already exceeds certain players in our academy, and you can see it already in the preseason.
Juan, I agree with you, but if I hear Ten Hag saying that he wants to pay Kudus on that position if Tagliafico leaves,
on the left back,
then I'm thinking, no, I'd rather not have a player not on his position just to fill up a gap. That's not the way I like Ajax to operate.
Hold on, Ten Hag said Kudus would play left back?
He said that Kudus, he was thinking about the fact that even Kudus could be an option for the left back position because nowadays wing backs are more playmakers. That was his reasoning.
That is ridiculous. With all due respect to Erik Ten Hag, I would rather even see Mazraoui or Dest fill in that position if necessary. We have two great right backs. Than that you sacrifice Kudus to play left back.
Yeah,
I do see him maybe filling in the position of 6 because I think he did pretty well from what we have seen so far. But putting him as a left back is, for me, it's ridiculous. You buy an attacking-minded player who also showed us he can, take off some defensive load, like regaining the ball. The 6 is an option from him, and the 10, of course. But like left back, no, I'm sorry. Then I'd rather see like Dest or Mazraoui take that spot, and you have like Martinez to take that spot, and Martinez can also fill in the position for a left central defender, considering Blind's condition at the moment. And you have Rensch also who can play left central defender and left central back. So we have some depth in the squad, but there are. In my opinion, if there are a lot of ifs and buts for certain positions, then you have to be careful a little bit. The midfield is we have a wide selection there. Also, the attacking situation of Ajax is pretty well. But if you have a lot of ifs and buts for a long season, then you have to start considering: is there something we need to do to strengthen that certain area of the team? And I think there are a lot of ifs and buts considering defense-wise. So. Please do not put Kudus on the left back position. If you let him retrain a position and let him play on another position, it should be at the 6, but it should be a midfield position.
Yes, I want to touch upon the Kudus player and also what we expect from him this year. But before I go to that, I just want a yes or no from both of you. To start with Papimento. According to you, the league should not be an issue with Ajax, with the current squad. We should be able to become champions. Actually, if you look at the squad strength, we are the strongest squad of the Eredivisie.
Okay, we only seen friendlies, and to be honest, I'm not looking at AZ and PSV games at the moment, so it's hard to determine. But the level of skill and depth, I don't think AZ can match Ajax in that. the two transfers, Kudus and Antony, have been doing exceedingly well. So I think we are the most technically gifted team in the Eredivisie. We have enough experience to easily win the league, but I don't know if fatigue is going to play a role during the season, and that's the only thing I have a big question mark on, because if some players fall away from the first line, that could be a problem for Ajax, and we don't even know if Blind is coming back. So.
Okay, Ajax, what's your take on this?
I do agree with Papimento, but my opinion differs a little bit. I do think Ajax is the most capable squad with the most depth, most technical ability, and strength. But I think one thing we should consider is the Eredivisie is not that strong of a league. So even teams like AZ and Feijenoord, if they get in the flow, and PSV, the majority of the matches they will win pretty easily. So it's not like a league like the Premier League, where a lower tier team can surprise one of the bigger teams. It doesn't happen that often in the Eredivisie as it does in the Premier League. So the competition is way less strong than other competitions are. So yes, we will probably be the strongest and we can be champions. This is what I predict also. But I do not think it will be with a landslide, because I think the strength of the total competition is not that great. So even Feijenoord, that has not been that great last years, will probably win the majority of their matches. So if you screw up once or twice because of fatigue, because of a busy schedule, it hurts you a lot. It's not like with Liverpool last season. That's maybe a bad example, because I just said the English Premier League is very strong, but we will not be having 20 points difference, I think. It will be slight margins. So I think we will be champions, but I think it will not be with a landslide.
All right, guys. Thank you for your take on this one. Let's move to the other question that I had for you guys, which we already touched upon. That's Kudus. My question to you guys: would you consider Kudus as a starter this season? Because when he got bought, we didn't have a good, opinion on how good he was. He's young. We know he's young. He was one of the best players in Denmark. But then he came, and I know it's probably you guys will say it's only preseason, so we have to be careful with that as well. But he came and he made quite an impression already in the preseason, just like Antony did. But from Antony, we already kind of expected it a little bit, but Kudus we didn't. And Kudus is really showing that he's a good player. He's a really good player. Should Ten Hag really consider to put Kudus as a starter already from the get-go? I want Ajax take on this one first.
First of all, kudos for Kudus, because he played terrifically, like we said in the friendly matches. I do think, you want my personal opinion, I would definitely within the Eredivisie give him a starting spot. If you not buy other players, I would probably put him on either the 10 position now Donny is gone, or even as a 6. And I rather see Kudus at the 6th position than I would see I forgot his name, the Mexican. Alvarez, sorry. Then I see Alvarez on the 6th position, because I think it will be more versatile, also attacking-wise, and he has a lot of strength and also a lot of fuel in the tank, to go the whole match. Mm-hmm. I would rather see him there, but honestly, I think Ten Hag would probably not start him in the first matches. I think he will bring him as a substitute, and I do think he will show us how good he is, and that he will become a first team player soon. But I would, especially within the Eredivisie, take the chance of starting him, because all I've seen from him up until now is good. So why not take that chance? While Alvarez got a lot of minutes and he's been doing more decently than in the beginning, he has not convinced me with great play up until now. It's been okay-ish, Mm-hmm. So is that good enough for our midfield, or should we aim higher? I would personally take the chance. I don't know what your take on it is, Papimento, but this is what I think.
Personally, I'm not a fan of people coming in from a transfer and directly being in the starting lineup. That's not how I like to coach a team, and that's not how I like Ajax to be coached either. I think you have to earn that spot. I think there are some players that deserve that spot a little bit more, and Kudus has to fight for every minute he's going to get on the pitch to prove himself that he deserves to be a starter at Ajax. I think that gives a better message to the players coming in than just putting him as a starter instead of somebody else. I do agree with Papimento, with Eyejax, that Alvarez has to go on the midfield. But I would put Martinez there and Gravenberg and Promes as a 10. Because if you put Kudus on the midfield, you're going to have to put somebody out. And who will you put out if you put him on the 10 position or 8?
Oh, yeah, well, the thing is,
will you take Promes out? Will you take
the thing is that Ajax just said that in his opinion, Kudus could play instead of Alvarez. But you want Martinez on that midfield.
I think that's too attacking, Juan. I think that's too attacking. I do think there must be some kind of balance. If you see Kudus today against Augsburg, you see he loves to attack. The defensive side, like Gravenberg, he sometimes misses. So let him get some time, to evolve and get that part of this game better too before he's a starter.
While I do agree with you, but I do not agree with the philosophy you said that somebody has to earn their spot because others deserve it more. This is true, but if somebody clearly is better and has more qualities at certain positions, then that stuff doesn't matter. I think I should always play the player that is most suitable and the most skilled player for that position. And I do not say that it is Kudus in this example, but I do say if you have a player that can deliver immediately, I do not like him being on the bench just because he has to earn his spot. If you are a better player, then you just must play. It's that simple.
Yeah, but as I said before, Ajax, I don't like players to be put out of position on the midfield. I think he's more of an 8 or a 10. So I have to judge him based on, do I think he's better than Gravenberg? I think Gravenberg earned his right to be in the first team already. So I'm going to put Gravenberg above Kudus, And Promes, I still think Promes as the 10 is a better option than Kudus at the moment. Because you also want Neres and Antony to play.
But let me just ask you this. In the situation that Blind hasn't recovered yet, so maybe he will be out for the first few matches if he gets back at all, the most logical solution for this would be Martinez on the left center back position, correct?
It's an option,
Okay, then the midfield, if you put Promes on 10, the midfield will be probably, because he practiced with this a lot of times, Gravenberg and Alvarez. Promes on a 10.
Yeah.
So my question is not, is Gravenberg deserving it more, or is Martinez deserving it more, or better on this position? Yes, both are, and I would rather see those two on the sixes. But if Martinez has to take Blind's spot, would you rather see Gravenberg with Kudus?
But
or would you rather see Gravenberg with Alvarez?
But I'm just saying, I love Martinez on the midfield, and even if Blind is not coming back, put Rensch on that position and let Martinez on 6. I don't mind that either.
But why do we keep just a question from my side? Why do we keep mentioning Rensch? Did Rensch already showed more than Timber? Because I think Timber is the next one in line, not Rensch.
But Timber is right-footed.
I'm sorry?
Timber is right-footed.
Yeah, that's true. Rensch is both-footed, so that's not the thing. But they're both central defenders.
Yeah, but two right-footed central defenders next to each other, that's not something I like. I rather see
I understand. But my point is, Papimento is mentioning Rensch all the time, But I think Rensch is now maybe an option on the wing backs. Maybe, but because we still have Dest and Mazraoui if Tagliafico leaves, and also Ten Hag already said that maybe he will try Dest on the left side. So we have to wait and see. So there are so many options, so many things that Ten Hag wants to still, try out, and we already had the preseason. So you just have to wait and see.
I do not agree putting Rensch on the central defender position already. He's just 17 years old. He played as few minutes as Kudus did, maybe a little bit more. And as you said before, Juan, the center of the team is the spine. And to put somebody at that position already, I'd rather see, although I like and love Martinez on the 6, I'd rather see Martinez play on the central back position for now. And even if he plays Gravenberch and Alvarez, rather have that than that you have Rensch already at that position immediately now, because he's just 17, and if somebody needs minutes and has to be brought slowly, it is Rensch. So, but for me, I would take the chance, especially in the Eredivisie, to try out Kudus more on the 6th position instead of Alvarez. But that's just me. I can understand Ten Hag would not do this, but yeah, I would rather take a chance with Kudus on the 6 than with Rensch on the central back position already.
Yeah, all right, that's clear. Pavimento, do you want to react?
Yeah, of course I want to react. The only reason I mentioned Rensch is just because he's a versatile player. He can play on every line in the back, and that's something you should be very happy with. That's not not every team has that. So yeah, even though he's 17, we've seen younger players start at Ajax. Is he capable? I've seen all the friendly matches, and he was amazing in all of them. So yeah, I would say squad rotation player for sure.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you for your take on the questions today. This was the extra talk for this week. We will be starting next week with the games. Sparta ahead. So yeah, I guess we're all looking forward to the league game. We have been waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
So let's see what Ten Hag comes up with. Thank you all for participating, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey there. Thanks for watching. A thumbs up if you enjoyed that video. Subscribe so we can bring you more awesome content. Do it.